Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about something that really kind of pissed me off when I first read this. It's to do with how CEOs and the higher-ups and the executives of huge companies just don't understand what consumers want despite professing that they do. And this is all coming from a small quote made by the CEO of Take-Two Interactive, a Mr. Strauss Zelnick. Now you've probably heard that name before. He pops up every so often because usually he has stupid ideas and stupid things to say, and this is no exception. But really quickly, before we get into that, as I always say, I am trying to grow the channel, so if you can help me out by doing the simplest things, just, leaving a like on the video, commenting on something that you've seen, and most importantly, if you think I've earned it, please do consider subscribing. But with that out of the way, let's get on to the actual story. So basically, Mr. Zelnick thinks that customers are ready to pay more money for their video games. He does. He really does. And I don't know if it's just me, but when I look at this guy, I just can't help but think that he could possibly be one of those liquid Terminators, from the Terminator movies. I obviously can't prove this, but, he definitely is. But the guy just looks wrong. Like when companies create a mascot character and that character becomes sort of like ingrained in people's minds, I feel like this guy isn't a real person, like he's just kind of made up by Take-Two Interactive to be the figurehead of the company, because the amount of crap that comes out of his mouth just makes me think you cannot be a real person. But then again, he's a mega rich CEO who doesn't, live in the same world as we do, and probably doesn't understand things on a, commoner level, shall we say. In regards to what he actually said though, I'm going to put it up on the screen now. We'll have a quick read of it and then we'll talk about it. Keep in mind, this is a direct quote from the man himself. He said, "In terms of pricing, we announced a $70 price point for NBA 2K21. Our view was that we're offering an extraordinary array of experiences and lots of replayability. The last time there was a frontline price increase in the US was in 2005 to 2006, so we think consumers were ready for it." This coming from the man with a net worth of at least $212 million, by the way. In all honesty, I'd be really surprised if I could find anyone out there that would be willing to pay more money for basically worse games. And now I'm not saying that gaming hasn't come a long way, of course, because it has, but back in 2005 to 2006, games were largely just games. There wasn't as much aggressive monetization. There wasn't all of this nickel and diming everybody to try and extract as much money from your wallet as possible. Of course, there was a bit of it, but he mentioned NBA 2K21. That's literally a casino game. Like it's literally a casino game with a little bit of basketball in there, And they have all of these massive deluxe editions and collector's editions and recurrent spending and, virtual coins that you turn into in-game money because it creates a disconnect between yourself, your wallet, your money, and what you're spending. It's all pretty much identical to the tactics that casinos and real, gambling uses to draw people in, with the flashy lights and the chance at the big money, It's pretty disgusting, honestly. And to say that he thinks people are ready to spend more money, it just goes to show how completely out of touch he is with the normal people. And actually, on that point again of the price increase, no, OK Games haven't exactly had a standard price increase. That is correct. However, with the fact that pretty much every game now that you buy, at least in the AAA space, is a shell price. It's a base game price. That's not the full game. The full game is in the gold edition, the deluxe edition, the game of the year edition, the complete edition, whatever you want to call it. It's the edition that comes out like a year later with everything included for a cheaper price. That's generally the complete game. Of course, in 2005, 2006, there were some games that I believe still charged you. There was monthly payment games like World of Warcraft, and I believe you had to pay monthly for Phantasy Star Online back in the day. I think it was a small amount, but still. There were games that had, of course, costs involved. I mean, even Halo 2 on the original Xbox had a map pack on a disc that you could buy, so it's not exactly completely absent from that time, but it's nowhere near what it is now. Nowadays, it is literally everything that you want to do is monetized in most games. And I believe Strauss Zelnick was actually the same person who said that he would charge people for bullets in games if he could. So, you're running out of ammo in Call of Duty or something, and, a little pop-up comes up. Oh, would you like to refill your ammo for $2? That sort of thing. So the guy's just disgusting, frankly. Trying to charge people this kind of money me is horrible. It's irritating as well because, like a lot of things, when it becomes super duper mainstream, you end up with a lot of things getting ruined. Now, if you like mainstream games and you like your Call of Duty and you like your Madden and NBA 2K and all this stuff, then that's fine. You know, most people don't follow the industry news like I do and like a lot of YouTubers do, but at the same time, you have to understand that what they're doing is manipulating you into buying these things. And the thing is, you like Call of Duty so much that you'll gladly throw the money at them, and that's kind of a problem because they're mentally, psychologically manipulating you into doing this. And to elaborate on the point of it becoming mainstream, what I meant by that was back in the day, late 80s, 90s, gaming used to be something that was actually kind of frowned upon. A lot of people just looked at it and said, oh, that's just for nerds and stuff like that. And over time, it's become more and more mainstream, more and more accepted. And now that that's happened, it's attracted a ton of these CEOs, like Strauss, Zelnick, to jump into these companies and basically turn them into money spinning ideas, virtually trying to scam people out of their money. And games didn't used to be like this. There was a lot of the companies back then, for example, were led by people that loved video games. So they would make a game, they would put a lot of care and effort into it, and then they would release the game, sell the game, hopefully make a profit on the game, then move on to their next game. That was how it would work. Since all these new CEOs and executives and investors have all come into it, now that it's become more mainstream, it's become an absolute hellhole of just horrible monetization. They're literally turning video games into casinos. And one of the worst things is games like FIFA that has a basically casino system built in, yet has 3+ on the box. And it's okay for kids to play this. And then they try and get around this by saying, well, parental controls, it's your fault that your kids are spending this money. I'm sorry, if your game has 3+ on the box, I shouldn't need parental controls. Now, I don't have kids myself at present, but I can tell you when I do, I will be keeping a close eye on the things that they're engaging with, as all parents should be doing now. I'm not excusing parents from their responsibilities. I'm just saying that if a game has 3+ on the box, you should be expected to sit your kid in front of it and, not have to worry about them being exposed to things that either closely resemble gambling or are straight up gambling. Actually, another point I'd like to make is one that I've been thinking about since the PlayStation 5 release at the end of 2020. And that basically involves me asking you guys a question. So anyone who's watching this who's from the USA, you've been paying $60 for your AAA standard games for a long time, right? I'm not including things like gold editions or budget titles, but the standard price has been $60, if I'm correct. Well, over here in the UK, we've been paying £50, which, if you check the exchange rate right now at least, it works out to be just about $70. So it seems as though we've always been paying more in the UK for our games in relation to our economies and what our currency is worth. But this is what I wanted to ask. When Demon's Souls came out and Godfall for the PlayStation 5 recently, were they $70 in America? Is this what they're talking about when they're saying they want a $70 standard price? Because if you guys were paying $70 for those games, we were actually paying £70 when they came out over here. I paid $69.99 for Demon's Souls and $69.99 for Godfall on release, which as of today's exchange rate works out at a hefty $97-ish. So I'm a little bit confused as to what happened because I don't remember anybody saying that these games were $80 in the USA. I don't remember hearing anyone say that. So what I'm trying to figure out is if your Demon's Souls and your Godfall went to $70 on release, $70, and ours went to £70 on release, which is about $97, that is ridiculous, especially for us, because if you've gone up to $70, that's a $10 increase. If we've gone up to £70, that's a £20 increase. And as good as Demon's Souls was, and still is, it's an amazing game, it's not worth £70. No video game is worth £70. So 60, I mean, it might be an easier pill to swallow, but I think if in England we go up to £70 a game, that's going to make things really difficult going forward. I have, of course, looked all these prices up, but I can't seem to find a definitive answer on what they actually released at. So if anyone does know, please do let me know in the comments. I would like to know. But anyway, that's my thoughts on Mr. Zelnick and his misguided information. I mean, of course, his company owns one of the biggest entertainment franchises on the planet. In fact, I think it is the biggest now with Grand Theft Auto, and it doesn't seem like anyone's going to stop spending in that game or in their other games. So all I can hope is that somewhere down the line people realize what's happening and they push back. Pushback is happening in small pockets, but I think we've still got a long road ahead. So as I said at the beginning of the video, if you want to help me grow the channel, the easiest thing you can do is just leave a like on the video, leave a comment, and if you think that I've earned it today, I would be really appreciative of a subscription. There's also a link in the description box down below that has a link to my Instagram, so feel free to follow me there if you like. And as always, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.